Okay, hello. How y'all doing today? Yes, I'm back today because yes, with another one. I'm here because I'm here to do a book review. Now, I have two books that I want to do a review on today, and I'm happy that you're here to join me. All right, so the first book that I wanted to speak to you about is this right here. Okay, and it's called A Story Collector. Yes. Now, this book right here is very scary. I didn't finish this book. That's how scary it is. The stories in this book is if you like to be frightened or scared, I mean, this is the book for you. Right now, I usually love horrors and that's my thing, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about this, okay? So what happened was it was a lady, her husband, they actually was separating. He was going back to his parents' house, and she was supposed to been going to back to Boston to live with her sister and her husband. But what happened was while she was at the airport, she had a couple of drinks, and she had read something about a tree, and how it was a tree over in I think it's London or it's over there in England somewhere, right? And Ireland. Yes, okay. And so it was a tree, and they were saying how they didn't want them to tear this tree down to make a road because this was like a tree for the fairies or something like that. Yes, yes. It's like it was like a fairy tale, so that's why I got it because I thought it was gonna be like kind of like something that was different, like an adventure or something like that. And so what happened was she was drinking and she wound up getting a plane ticket to Ireland. Listen, but she didn't realize until she woke up in the plane and she realized she's in Ireland. She like, oh my goodness, I'm where? Yeah, she done took a plane ticket to Ireland to go see about this tree that they said, yes. But when she mom finally wakes up on the plane, she thinks she's in Boston, but she was actually in Ireland. And so she had to find somewhere to live and everywhere to stay, while she was there. And she did. She wound up finding a nice little cottage that the hotel recommended because they were booked. So she winds up getting this nice little cottage, and one night she just out for a stroll and whatever. And she goes and she was also had her little flask with her drinking and it was all gone. So she wound up, throwing it down. And she said she heard a little like a clink. She looked down and it fell into like this hole with something by the tree. And she just started digging in there. And lo and behold, she finds a diary. And the diary belongs to uh, a woman who's from that town, from that area, and it was 100 years prior. Yeah, so it was written back in 19, I think it said 1910, and now this is like 2000 and like 10. So it's like, yeah, 100 years later, basically. And she's just reading this diary, and what it is like you're going back in time with this woman, and hearing the story about how this American came to Ireland to hear about the folk tales of the fairies. And so so what he's doing is she's like an assistant to him, and they walking around to like the neighbors and listen to little stories that they have from the fairies. And let me tell you something. Some of these stories are very, very scary. Very scary stories. So I was like, you know what I'm saying? I said, oh, you know what? But this right here is very good. I think I'm going to continue this at another time because it was just too much. It was just, yes, I was reading it at late night and I'm like, oh my goodness. And you think watching a movie is scary? Try reading a scary book. Yes, at night. Like I said, oh no, look, don't judge me, guys. Yes, but this right here. All right, and I also wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to do a book club, and I have a great book right now that I want to share with y'all that I would like y'all to get if y'all would like to join my book club and read it, and maybe we could you can message me and whatever, and we can get in touch and whatever, and maybe set up a date so we can actually discuss this book. Maybe we could do it on Zoom or something like that. But the book that I want to bring to you that's here, the first book for my book club is right here. It's called the Expectant Detective. Yes, you see, she's expecting. Yes, she's pregnant and she has a little doggy, and she's a detective now. I read like the first couple of chapters and whatever just to see what it was about and see what this be a good book for the book club. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it. Now I didn't finish it. I only went to chapter 7, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit. It's about a young lady. She's about in her 30s. You know what I'm saying? She had met this guy and they wound up hitting it off. They was together for about a year and she wound up getting pregnant. And they both decided, okay, instead of they was living in London. And since London's the city and everything, and it's very expensive. They were saying how they was going to move to the country. They moved to the country and they found a beautiful cottage and they've been living there. You know, they just moved in and they just trying to get everything situated and whatever. And then, and then they trying to figure out, what I'm saying, just really just traveling in the near town and, and getting to know, their surroundings and things like that. But she also signed up for like prenatal classes because she's about 8 months pregnant and her boyfriend, so they go to these prenatal classes and whatever. They signed up. But prior to that, she went to the doctor's office because she had to get her doctor's, you know, um, relocated to this new town that she's living in because she's living in probably like over 100 miles away from London now. So she's in the doctor's office and she getting her little checkup and she leaves out and she has her bag with her little groceries in it and everything. And it's kind of funny too. So, if you're looking for something and that's a little funny, it got a lot of humor to it, the things that she's saying and this and that. So she runs into an older man and his name is Oliver and he tells her, he said, I see you got some antacids inside your bag, but I know a more natural, remedy if you having like acid reflux or heartburn. And he tells her whatever she should do for her heartburn, her ass. She's like, oh, thank you. She's like, the people here are just so nice and this and that. And so she's like, she just, can't believe how nice and considerate they are. She said because like in the city they wouldn't do anything like that. So but anyway, they wound up going to their little prenatal class later on that day, and everything is good. And she come to know my whole Oliver is actually the owner of the building that they had the prenatal classes. And so she's like, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" He was like, "Hello again. Did you try that remedy that I told you for your acid reflux?" She said, "Oh, well, not yet, but I will." And come to find out, she said, "Yeah." And he took my acid reflux pills out my bag. I didn't even realize it, but when she got home, she didn't have them, so she kind of figured that he took them, but she didn't say anything to him about it. So she goes, so they go upstairs and whatever, and they meet the other few couples that's up there. It's a gay couple up there, two women. It's a man and a woman that's up there, and he wears a suit, the husband, so she thinks he's like maybe some kind of professional or whatever, like works into an office or something like that because he has a very nice suit on, she said. And it's another girl there. She has like half of her hair shaved and the other half has dreads, and she's by herself and whatever. And it's the instructor. So it's about four couples there. Well, four women that's there that are pregnant that's in the prenatal class, and they there and they just getting to know each other. So the next day they also goes back to the prenatal class because they got 2 days in a row. And so they goes back there and that day one of the women actually goes into labor. Yes. She winds up having her baby there right there at the prenatal class and everything. And her boyfriend, the girl who's telling the story, her boyfriend is kind of uncomfortable because the woman she has to strip down basically from the waist down naked and she's laying there, she's breathing, she's about to have this baby. And so it's a real good story. I mean, it's really good, but get this the kicker, guys. Listen, while she's having the baby, Oliver downstairs, yes, is being murdered. So when the ambulance get there and he comes up there and he said, yeah, she's like, well, here go the lady, she just had a baby and this is that. He said, oh, so we're not here for the dead man that's downstairs. And they like, what? They go and she runs down there, and she looks and she's like, oh my goodness, Oliver is dead. So she's thinking it's a heart attack. So the detectives come and everything, and they trying to figure out. So the detective, she's the lady. She comes upstairs. She talking to them. She say, I'm sorry about the wait and everything, but we had to, situate everything downstairs and whatever. And she asked how the lady who was doing, who just gave birth. She was like, yes, she has just gave birth to a beautiful little girl. And she was like, yeah, well, while you was giving birth to this little girl up here, someone was downstairs murdering Mr. Oliver. And so they're like, so it's like this, it's like a mystery, a murder mystery, and it's really good. So I'm thinking if y'all want to read this with me, this would be perfect for my first book on my book club. Yes. And it's by Cat Ailes. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Yes, and it's called The Expectant Detectives. So what it is that she's like telling her boyfriend, I wonder who did it. We was there, because it was only the people there at the prenatal class who could have murdered him because what it is when you come in and out of that the store, it's like the bell jingles. You know how the door opens and you hear a bell jingle. So they said, and I don't remember hearing any doors opening the whole time we was up here helping this lady give birth to her baby, but it was a lot going on. So they don't know if anyone came in there while they was up there, because upstairs is where their prenatal classes are. And they don't know if anybody, they didn't hear anybody come in or anything. As a matter of fact, they didn't even know that he was downstairs. You know what I'm saying? But yes, he was down there, and he must have came in after they started the prenatal class. But yes, but anyway, his body is down there, and they said it wasn't a heart attack. He was actually murdered. hmm So she's gonna be into she gonna I guess she's gonna investigate now. That's all. That's the furthest I got. Then I want y'all to join me and finish reading this, and we're gonna see who did it. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be really good. I think it's gonna be really good. Like I say, it's funny, and she's a vivid character already. Like her personality, I'm telling you. But I'm thinking it'll be a great thing for me to start off on a book club, and that'll be our first book. So guys, if y'all want to join me, this is the book I'm reading. It's The Expectant Detective. Yes. Okay. And I guess today is let's see what today's is. Today's date is the 25th. So we're gonna come back on February the 25th, and we're gonna have a book review on this. Okay, so we're gonna give you about a month to read it, because I know everybody has busy schedules with work and things like that. So here you go. All right, and we're gonna get together on the on February the 25th, and we're gonna talk about this book right here. All right. I want to thank y'all for joining me, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And and also, if you getting the book and whatever, just shoot me a message and say, yeah, we're gonna get it. I'm in there with you. Yeah, we're gonna read this book and we're gonna see who did it. And I'll look forward to talking to you on February the 23rd. And also, I'm thinking maybe we could do a Zoom together and maybe record it so I could post it on my YouTube channel, which is Let's Make Up and Read. All right, guys, I want to say thank you. Love you.